All right, so welcome to the Path of a Plumber podcast. I'm here with John Gribble from Pronto Plumbing. I believe you're the vice president, correct?
Correct.
Now, I reached out to you on Facebook and invited you on to the podcast. And one of the things that we talked about is just kind of the sheer volume that you guys do, but you kind of had mentioned, and you're really the first person that I had talked to that mentioned that, during COVID, you had kind of really pivoted and developed a membership program, and you've really kind of grown on the back of that significantly. Can you talk just kind of about that a little bit?
Yeah, actually, I remember when COVID happened, when they started doing the shutdowns, and they came out with the non-essential businesses and the essential businesses. Well, we had to deem what was essential in our business, which was plumbing demand and drain demand. Yeah. So what we did was we started finding that the call volume was starting to diminish during those times. So we have a membership program, and we started outbounding these customers to get free camera inspections for the sewer line.
Wow.
And we made it.
Wow. Now, what made you think of that? Was that something you've done somewhere else, or it was just kind of spur of the moment, let's try it, see how it goes, or what spawned that on?
Well, we always had it because we also have a heating and air department. Okay. So we always had like a program for, planned maintenance, system checks, the whole deal with HVAC equipment. So we started to do a spinoff for sewer lines, just providing the free camera inspections, make sure everything in your house is flowing properly, the whole deal. And lo and behold, a lot of our areas have a lot of Orangeburg.
Yeah.
So it worked out well.
Nice. Now, can we back, sorry, I wanted to jump on that just because that stuck out to me, but I do want to back up and talk about just, your background, because I think you told me that you started plumbing when you were 13 years old and you were digging ditches, correct? Like, you can tell more about that?
Yeah, my dad actually made me go to work with him when I was 13 during the summer. And I was the guy down in a ditch with a pipe laser, putting together SDR 35 and ductile iron water main, storm drains, the whole bit. And then from that point, I was either excavating or the pipe guy.
Yeah. So you've been in the drain world since the beginning, really, right?
Yeah. It was actually one of the only things for a while.
Yeah. And kind of tell me about, starting at 13, going to where you are, becoming the VP. What was kind of that journey like?
I think it was more, I found what my passion was. I love running heavy equipment. It's like, it's every guy's dream, is the way I look at it, is to take a mini excavator home or a full-size track hoe and start digging holes in your yard till your wife kills you. That's my.
Yeah.
And I love the challenge of it. Every day is different. Anything underground is different. From doing either a trellis job to a trenching, all that type of stuff. Every day is a different job.
Yeah. Yeah. And excuse me, sorry about that. Let's talk about just because I like I told you, I do marketing for a lot of plumbing companies, and I can generate hundreds and hundreds of drain calls, but not everybody. I think you told me you do a 93 or free campaign. Can you tell me, because I've done I've never done a 53 or 93 or free. I've done your $99 drain clean special, from the street to the house, above ground, accessible clean out type stuff. Tell me how you structure that and how you're able to kind of take that $93 and actually turn it into positive revenue. Because I'm assuming a company your size, you probably don't make much on $93 if that's all you do.
No, $93 to me is almost deemed as a non-converted call.
Yeah.
So typically the 93 or free is awesome. And the reason being so is we stopped charging dispatch fees almost a year ago now. So we don't even have an after hours dispatch. Basically, the way I look at it, and I train my technicians, is any chance you get into the house, that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
right? So a couple years back when we had like a $99 drain opening special, people would flop on it because they felt they had no opportunity to do it. So with the 93 or free, I created this sewer sales process per se, where they have to go in and follow the exact process I would do if I would run a drain call. You know, because I can't warranty a drain line opening without getting my camera in the line. I just can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you make the camera inspection based on the warranty. So you say for 93 or free, but I don't warranty it if I don't put a camera in it.
Correct.
Nice.
Yep.
And
yep. And
and obviously the conversion rate on the camera inspection is what drives the real ticket, right? So you're getting there, you're clearing it. The 93 is just so you don't lose money or break even on the original call. And then you're setting up the camera. Does the guy who runs the drain call do the camera on the spot, or do you have a follow-up guy that comes behind and does the camera?
nope, I trained them all to be salespeople too. So I don't like having a customer lose the sense of urgency of, hey, my drain guy just opened up your line. I need a camera technician to come out here and camera it. We do it all right then and there. And actually on the back end, when I really started taking this department to the next level, I would watch every call happen. So my technicians would start uploading pictures of their camera, and I would call them and tell them what I'm seeing to teach them and what to do.
That's good. That's really good. So you do it in real time, so that way you coach them through it, because they probably don't know, right? A lot of them don't know even how to recommend it, because I think that's a big problem that I see is, you know, drain guys will go out and they'll say that there's nothing here, and they leave, and they just keep running these $99 specials, and then the plumbing owner will say, man, I'm not making any money on these calls. I got to up the special, but then they don't get any calls because they're priced out of the market at some point on the initial drain call.
Correct. And the big piece is you almost have to prove to your techs that the system works. So what I would do is if there was ever a callback on one of my drain techs, I would go run the call and I would camera it, and I would actually take still photos of what I saw and told them this is why it's clogging up. Like a big example is SDR35 lines these days. They're junk. They pull apart from the fittings, but you have to be able to go in a certain way on the line to be able to see all that. So that was a big training point, and it works. I mean, these guys' conversion is like a 78% off of the 93 or free.
78% on the 93 or free. This is I really want to dive into that, because that's on the marketing side. That's where I see the struggle. I'm probably one of the few marketing guys that can generate unlimited amount of drain calls. And sometimes I meet a plumber that they hire me, and the moment I turn it on, they make money and they never talk to me again because they're just happy. And then I can get another guy who's a big plumbing company, has all the money and resources, and he can spend $30,000 a month in ads, but he wouldn't do anything with those calls anyways. And you said you've created a process almost to the point where you're considering creating a platform and teaching other plumbing companies on how to do this.
Yeah. Yep. And we're part of a group right now, and a lot of our peers will call me. I helped a guy get his drain department up and running about a year and a half ago, and they're killing it now.
Yeah. And so what do you do? Give me some of the process of like what you would do because I also might have some people for you to talk to, because I have clients that, they're doing okay. But if they perfected that process, they could do a lot better. And just tell me what you would walk them through and what kind of training you would give them, just because most of the people that listen to the podcast are other plumbers.
Correct.
So you could probably, network through this as well.
Well, realistically, it'd be essentially what I did here too. It's, you got to evaluate your technicians and their skill set. And then the big piece is you got to teach them how to control a call, right? And the one thing I teach in my weekly meetings is repetition. So that's why we run a call the same way every time. It's, as soon as you get on site, you start taking pictures of whether it be the clean out cap or anything like that. it's always saying, hey, I'm going to get my camera in the main and make sure everything's okay. And then I'm going to give you multiple options before we start, providing service.
Yeah.
So it works out perfect, because the one thing I found is if you have like a senior technician, it's so hard to break them out of that fix mentality, because that fix mentality anymore creates nothing but customer complaints. People want the permanent solution and they want it now.
Yeah.
And that's what
that's what I listen to a lot of. Because I have in my team, we listen to the calls for the clients, because I've learned over the years as the marketing guy, I can generate 100 calls, but if you only book 20 of them, in your mind, you only got 20 calls. That's right. So if I don't listen to them and tell the client, hey, you're not booking these calls, but what you'll hear a lot of times is the same person will call and say, this is my third clog in 2 months. This is the fourth time it's clogged. A lot of the people recycle themselves back in, and they're looking for that cheap unclog, but no one's ever really solving the problem for them.
And that's the best part about you saying that. So it literally does. We created this flow chart of, it's called the life of a call, right? How it comes into the building, and then it goes to the dispatcher, and then it's all about probing questions, asking the customer the right questions. And then for the dispatch side, we use the right tech to the right call. So I actually have an ongoing, rotation of which one of my drain guys is on fire and which one isn't. And that's who I feed mains. And then I'll also do it by geographic, like where is it located? Certain techs are better in certain areas than others too. So, it's a whole process.
Yeah. Now you said a number to me that stuck out, and I took some notes. You said that your average drain, I don't know if the right word is drain call or drain job, is $7,400, I think $54 or something like that, right?
Correct. Yeah, my average ticket per lead right now is $75.45.
$75.45. Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Most of our jobs are anywhere from $8,500, and we go the whole way up to $30,000, and we'll get some of these jobs done in one day.
Yeah, and then you were saying your crews that do the pipe bursting and replacement, the average crew is making $18,000 a day in revenue, right?
Correct. Yeah. And and this is how I created that. So the one thing I found was, with the growth of the sewer line replacement part, was I was having a hard time fulfilling it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I started to do is I added a week-long backlog, and I found that you can't really go past it without losing calls or losing the job. So I created each install crew has an $8,500 a day goal that they have to make, but I bonus them off of that. So a lot of these guys want the $18,000 jobs and get it done in a day, because they're getting hourly plus bonus.
Yeah.
So it incentivizes one.
Wow. And so, where do you go from here, right? It sounds like you've maximized. Is it a matter of just getting more calls? Is it scaling profitability within what you're already doing? Like, not to say that you've perfected it, but it sounds like you've got a really good system down, and it's just kind of chugging along. Like, how do you keep tweaking it to make it better?
And that's awesome that you said that. So now it comes down to is more efficiencies. How can I get my guys to leave the shop quicker and get the jobs done quicker? And then plus right now, it's also the overhead piece. This past year, we bought 3 mini excavators, 3 dump trucks, 2 directional boring machines, and 2 pipe bursting machines. So we bought a lot of equipment, and it's just ongoing, and just getting better at it.
Yeah. Amazing. So, like I said, a lot of plumbers do listen to the podcast and follow it. What advice would you give to, because, I think there's a lot of people that know drains is where it's at, but they just don't know how to make money at it, right? Like really thrive in that world. Advice for someone that is, it may be a drain tech, and then maybe even someone trying to, build their drain business up.
You need a driver. And that's the honest truth. You can never build that department without a driver, because that industry the amount of hours these guys work is nuts. So you'll have so much turnover until you find the right guy to run that department, right? And it's a lot of sacrifice. The next piece is on the service technician side, confidence. That's the one thing I find with a lot of technicians. They're just not confident, you know, and they blow the call, essentially.
Yeah. Really knowing what they're doing and how to look for it and give the right advice. Yeah. And understanding that selling sometimes is providing the right service that's needed. And it's not a bad word to sell them on, you really need to do this versus let me just unclog it and leave.
Correct. And that's one of the moments that I'm most proud of, actually, because even on my plumbing side, one of my top plumbers is 61 years old. It took me 2 years to break him out of the fix mentality, because he's like, why am I getting so many callbacks? Very skilled plumber. And I was like, this is why. Because the lower dollar tickets between $300 and $500 creates customer complaints. You know, because they're spending that kind of money, but they're not getting anything new.
Yeah.
You know, and it's huge. And that goes for my installation crew. You know, you need a refined installation crew. I taught all my guys customer service, and I taught all of my installers how to sell jobs too, because they'll bonus off of sales as well.
Yeah. So so far it's a good episode. Is there anything I didn't ask that maybe you might want to cover? I know you even talked about creating a platform. Maybe you just want to talk more about what you're doing and you know, just share more than maybe I've asked.
Yeah. So the platform that I'm creating is actually what helped me keep my sanity this year. We grew 230% in the sewer side of the business this year. So it was, you know, it's creating best practices. It's the whole sales process. It's the installation process. It's the way we lay out our trucks. I lay all my trucks out the same exact way for a reason, because you know how it is when it's 12 o'clock at night and you need a 6-inch by 4-inch eccentric fitting. You're not getting that at Home Depot.
Yeah.
You know, so what myself and my partner have done is actually broke all this stuff down and created full-blown processes and basically step-to-step how to do drains.
Wow. That's amazing. And you want to shout out where people could find you if they wanted to find more information, just contact information, website, just how people could actually reach out to you?
Yeah, they can reach out to me at john.gribble@prontoplumbing.com. Or, I mean, I'd give my cell phone, but I don't know what that would do.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Awesome. It's a great episode. Is there anything else you want to add before we close it out?
No, I'm all right.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'll just stay on. I'm going to just pause this real quick.